As a psychic angel messenger and angelic spirit channeler, I do talk to angels all day. So before I start my YouTube video about my investigation on the Salvation Army, I'm going to ask for 1,000 angels of divine love to enter my motel room, and for the Archangel Uriel to enter my body and help me make this YouTube video. I'm recently divorced. I was a housewife, and that means I didn't have to work. My husband worked. So I didn't do anything my whole life except for lay around and listen to music and drink. And now that I'm divorced, I'm really poor. My husband was really passionate about helping homeless people out, and now I can see why. Because I've been trying to do everything that everybody says, and so far all they do is lie, and nobody has told the truth. I'm a psychic angel messenger and angelic spirit channeler. I always tell everybody that, and when I go to the hospital and tell the hospital staff that, they say that it's psychosis. If you go to the hospital and say you're a psychic angel messenger, angelic spirit channeler, they put down their paperwork that that's psychosis. So anyway, now I'm homeless, and I went to St. Anthony's Hospital. I was hungry and cold, and the social worker came in and we talked. He gave me a piece of paper with a list of things to do. On the piece of paper, it said to go to the Salvation Army and sign up for their job program. Obviously, if you're homeless, your number one priority is to get a job. That's everybody's number one priority. So I finally got to the Salvation Army after St. Anthony's staff told me to go there to sign up for their job program. And when I got there, the employee at the Salvation Army said they don't have a job program. I asked him if any of the Salvation Armies had a job program. He said no, none of the Salvation Armies had a job program. He told me I could fill out a job application to work in the store. I filled out a job application to work in the store, and then he gave me a number to call, and he wrote that number on this piece of paper, and the piece of paper says Claim Center 1, and that's the number he told me to call. And I called that number, and that woman said none of the Salvation Armies had a job program, and she said they're all volunteers, everybody that works at the Salvation Army. But I was in the store to sign up for their job program, and while I was in the Salvation Army, the employee working there gave me a job application, and I filled it out. So this says Claim Center 1, The Salvation Army doesn't have a job program. Social workers at St. Anthony's Hospital told me they did have a job program. They told me to go down there. The next thing I'm investigating is Section 8. I also went down to Section 8 in Oregon, Illinois to get a food stamp card, and there was only $37 on the food stamp card. So I have to get rides from family members, and I only have $37 to feed myself every month. And the first time I figured it out in my head, I only have $37 to feed myself every month. So I can get beans in a can and apples. And I thought that's really healthy. I can feed myself pretty good on beans and apples. In one of my YouTube videos, I showed the receipt for my first food stamp card purchase, and on the receipt it says beans and apples. So the next thing I'm going to investigate is Section 8. When I was at Section 8 in Oregon to get my food stamp card, which is only $37, they said they would be accepting Section 8 on the 1st of the month. So I'm going to investigate that. I tried using my food stamp card a second time, but my grandmother wouldn't come over to this motel and take me to Aldi's. And because I am homeless and I have to walk everywhere, the grocery stores are far apart and strange. The nearest Aldi's is a long ways away, and it's winter. So to get to the Aldi's to use my food stamp card wisely would take me 4 hours because I have to walk. So I had to use my food stamp card at the gas station. I didn't want to, but because I have to walk, I had to. And I got Doritos and cheese dip. You can tell that I'm a health freak and that I choose to eat healthy anyway. And beans and apples would be something I would normally buy. I like beans and apples. Beans and apples are good for you. So I didn't want to buy Doritos. I didn't want to buy cheese in a can. I don't like Doritos. I think they're disgusting. I didn't want to buy cheese in a can. I like beans. I like apples. So I was forced to buy disgusting food that I would never buy in a million years because I have to walk everywhere. So I went down to the Salvation Army after the social worker at St. Anthony's Hospital told me to go down there and sign up for the job program. I went down there only to find out that they don't have a job program. And the employee there gave me this number. I called the number, and that woman said they don't even pay their employees anything, that they're all volunteers. So I got conflicting stories. The social worker at St. Anthony's Hospital told me to go down to the Salvation Army to sign up for their job program. When I got well, anyway, what the social worker at St. Anthony's told me to go down to the Salvation Army and sign up for their job program. When I got down to Salvation Army to sign up for their job program, they said they don't have a job program, but I could fill out a application. And I assumed that meant that I would be getting paid if I got a job there. He also gave me a number to call. And I called the number, and that woman said that all their employees are volunteers and that they don't actually get paid. So I got conflicting stories. Since I am homeless and I do rely on rides, I moved all the way over here to this motel just because it was close to the Salvation Army, where they have their job program. And now that I'm over here and finally got to go down to the Salvation Army, I learned that they don't even have a job program. So why the social worker at St. Anthony's Hospital would tell me to go to the Salvation Army to sign up for their job program is beyond me, because I'm really trying to get somewhere here. I believed what the social worker at St. Anthony said. He said the Salvation Army had a job program. He told me to go down there, to take the bus down there or get a ride down there and sign up for their job program. I moved to a motel near the Salvation Army so I could sign up for their job program because I was serious. I thought, here I can shower and I have all my clothes. My family picks me up and they let me wash my clothes at their homes. I thought I can walk down to the Salvation Army, sign up for their job program. It's right down the road. I thought the staff at the Salvation Army would drive me to the job they found for me and pick me up while I was saving money for my own car. But I just went to the Salvation Army. They don't even have a job program. And they were very insistent on that. And the woman, that employee told me to call, said they don't even pay their employees anything, that they're all volunteers, even though the employee at the Salvation Army had me fill out an application. And he knew I was looking for a job. So now I had to move motels. I had to get my family to bring me here. And the Salvation Army doesn't even have a job program after social workers at the St. Anthony's Hospital told me they did. So I'm a real thoughtful person, and I know that on TV that they're always talking about homeless people all the time. The newspaper's always making fun of homeless people. There's a lot of music that talks about homeless people. So I already thought about the problem with homeless people. I know that lots of war vets are homeless. I know that those people don't like to be bossed around or trapped in small places because they were abused horribly. why they were in the military and the Navy. And I know this because my brother-in-law was in the Navy, and he was only in the Navy for 4 months, but he still talks about it till this day. And he tells everybody that it was the worst experience of his life. And he only had to be in the Navy for 4 months. So I can imagine that anybody that was actually in the Navy or the military longer than 4 months is really uh well, if you can guess, you got people yelling at you all the time if you're in the military or the Navy, and you got people bossing you around, telling you what to do. So those homeless people that are vets, they you would assume that they don't like being bossed around. They don't like being trapped in small places where they can't leave. So if all those people are homeless, they would need special services that are just for them, and that would be them not being trapped anywhere and them not being bossed around. So I already investigated the homeless shelters, and those are set up like prisons. They have steel doors and security systems where you can't go, you can't leave or go in when you want. That would be too abusive for anybody in the military that's homeless or the Navy, because they're yelled at constantly. They're trapped in small places where they can't leave. They want to leave. They want to see their families. They can't. So although all these military people are sleeping in tents and under bridges because the homeless shelters aren't designed for them. They don't like to be bossed around. They don't like to be trapped in small places. When I was at the one homeless shelter, the woman was very bossy. She wanted me to fill out paperwork, all this paperwork, and she asked me a lot of intrusive questions. I'm a psychic angel messenger and angelic spirit channeler. There's tons of them in the phone book. When I tell doctors that, they put it on my paperwork that it is psychosis when it isn't. So I already investigated hospital personnel for abuse, and I found all hospital staff to be abusive. St. Anthony's has priests and nuns, and those people would never call any psychic angel messenger or angelic spirit channeler. They wouldn't call those people. They wouldn't say those people had psychosis because their religion says that that's normal, that that's a good thing to talk to angels. In fact, their whole religion is based around angels. So anyway, I investigated the one homeless shelter. It was a lot of strict rules, a lot of people bossing you around, telling you when and where you could do everything. And something like that isn't for military personnel that's homeless. And that's probably why they're all on the streets, homeless. So I went to St. Anthony's. I talked to a social worker. They told me to go to the Salvation Army, sign up for their job program. When I get to the Salvation Army, they don't even have a job program. They give me a piece of paper that says Claim Center 1. They have an employee or a volunteer bringing a red bucket. I know my grandma volunteers to ring the bell at Christmas time. She isn't an employee. She's a volunteer. And I don't know if she knows where the money is going or not. But I did what hospital staff told me to do, and that was to go sign up for their job program. And they don't even have a job program. I know they have commercials on TV. I don't know if they have to pay for those commercials. If they do, then I'm guessing that's a couple $1,000s to get a commercial. I'm poor, and I used to donate all myself to the Salvation Army and donate what little change and cash I had into the red bucket. I'm guessing that rich people donate a lot more. I'm guessing rich people donate a lot more money to the Salvation Army. So I want to know where the money is going from this for the Salvation Army. I want to know what they're using the money for. They got a lot of nice fancy trucks to pick up rich people's furniture and belongings. Are they selling that nice furniture at nice resale shops? Is the Salvation a rip-off store for does some rich person own it? I know when I went into the Salvation Army that they had military magazines there. And some people might think, well, the military business isn't any of your business. I am married to St. Michael, the Archangel, and he is the military's patron saint. And if you notice, the Salvation Army has a V in it. I am also the reincarnated angel of vanity, and all V's stand for my name. So therefore, the Salvation Army has a V in it. So therefore, the Salvation Army is my business. And if they don't actually help homeless people out, I want the V out of the Salvation Army. I also want the V out of Navy. Obviously, the Vatican can keep the V in their name because they actually gave me the Salvation Army's job program to investigate. So I went to the Salvation Army. I am legally married to St. Michael the Archangel. He is the military's patron saint. That means that whatever the military is doing, it's mimicking what he would want done. That is what patron saints do. So I went to the Salvation Army to investigate it. I wanted to sign up for their job program. And what I learned is they don't have a job program, but there is military magazines inside and pamphlets, and they have a claim center. I'm thinking me and my ex-husband are the only people that actually help homeless people out. My ex-husband actually meets them and listens to them and allows them to stay in our house, and I would drive them around and he would help them find jobs. I don't know what he's doing, but the last I heard, he had just gotten his cousin a job, and he doesn't even like his cousin. It's not even a real cousin. It's like a step half brother cousin from another mother cousin. I was really in need of a job program. I moved all my belongings to the motel closest to the Salvation Army just so I could sign up for their job program. I thought that I could go in there and there would be staff there that would take me to a job and pick me up from a job while I was saving money for a car so I could get there myself and back, because that makes sense. That's what I used to do for the homeless people that used to live with me and my husband, my ex-husband. Obviously, homeless people need a ride to a job and back. So I wasted all my time moving into a motel that was near Salvation Army just because hospital staff at St. Anthony's, the social worker there, told me to go to the Salvation Army and sign up for their job program. St. Anthony's Hospital is a hospital that recognizes St. Michael as a legitimate angel, one that they also talk to. There's a nun named Mother Michael. The military has him as their patron saint, so I would assume America also recognizes him as a real angel that tons of people know and talk to. So far, the social worker at St. Anthony's lied to me, and just like this stuff, it was on my paperwork. Go to the Salvation Army, sign up for the job program. I went down to, or it was just like this, it was on my paperwork. Go down to the Salvation Army, sign up for their job program. I moved all my stuff to the nearest motel closest to the Salvation Army. I wasted all my family's time. They had to pick me up. They had to drop me off. And now that I'm here, I find out they don't even have a job program. The employee there said they don't have a job program. This is Remedies. This isn't the domestic violence shelter I just left, and they have domestic violence services. It says emotional abuse physical abuse, and financial abuse. Emotional abuse would be telling people to go to the Salvation Army to sign up for their job program, only to get there to find out they don't have a job program after wasting all their family's time to move them to a motel nearest to the Salvation Army so they could get a job. So that is emotional abuse. It says right here, any communication that isn't uplifting to build a relationship is emotional abuse. It's also financial abuse because I had to waste a lot of time and effort to think about it. And come down here. So that is abuse. People might think, well, we don't like your snotty attitude and the way you talk. The way I talk is never going to change, no matter how homeless I get. I've already lived in a tent. My brother will confirm it. I lived in a tent 2 years ago. So my snotty attitude and the way I talk is never going to change. This is just the way I talk. You can't change the way somebody talks. So far, I've done all this stuff. Well, I've done all this stuff to get a job, and nothing anybody says is true. Why would I try this place out if the Salvation Army didn't work out? The Salvation Army route was easy and convenient. That didn't work out. Why would I try the prison the prison one? That one seems worse than the easy convenient one. That's just a claim center. They don't even help anybody out. They just steal everybody's money. I'm guessing this is something for perverts to get off on. They probably have a lot of doctors there that want to hear every little intimate detail of your life. So I'm guessing everybody knows just to go there and lie because it's creepy. When I was here, they didn't have anything healthy to eat. They had some apples. I like to eat beans and healthy food. They had donuts. They had cereal. They had a lot of carbs. So if you go here and want something healthy to eat for breakfast, you have to eat an apple and that's it. Everything else is unhealthy. So I'm guessing this is just more weird stuff for perverts to be able to talk to you all the time. If you ever go to jail, you know that it's just abusive nonsense. You should never do to a human being ever. So I'm guessing this place is more abusive nonsense you should never do to a human. This place doesn't even have a job program. some people might think that I'm going on and on about something that isn't a big deal. Homelessness is a big deal. I'm trying to get a job. Getting a job is easy. Why is it hard for anybody that works at any of these homeless people facilities like the Salvation Army to give me a ride anywhere? How hard is that? You're the Salvation Army. I was told by social workers at St. Anthony's Hospital to go there to sign up for your job program. And you don't even give homeless people rides to jobs so they can get a car. Why do me and my ex-husband have to be the ones to give homeless people places to live and to drive them around so they could get jobs? Why is that our job? As a housewife, I didn't have anything to do when I was bored, and I like driving, so it didn't bother me. I'm sure there's tons of people that are just like me that don't have anything to do and don't mind driving homeless people around to work and back, or to drive, or to get job applications. So next, I'm investigating the Ogle County Housing Authority and the Section 8